The 1980s, an era when trucking was king. CB radios crackled with chatter, and chrome was mandatory. But beyond the flashy paint jobs and customized rigs, there was a serious question every owner-operator and fleet manager had to answer: which truck will actually make it to 1,000,000 miles? In the 1980s, reliability wasn't just about avoiding breakdowns. It was about making money. Downtime meant lost revenue, missed deliveries, and damaged reputations. The most reliable trucks of this era became legends not because they were the fastest or most comfortable, but because they simply refused to quit. Today, we're counting down the 10 most reliable 18-wheelers of the 1980s. These are the trucks that racked up hundreds of thousands of miles with minimal drama, the trucks that drivers trusted with their livelihoods, the iron horses that defined what reliability really means in the trucking world. So adjust those mirrors, check those airlines, and let's roll through a decade of dependable diesel power. Number 10. Freightliner FLC120. Starting our list at number 10 is the Freightliner FLC120, a truck that brought reliability to a whole new segment of the market. The FLC, which stood for Freightliner Conventional, was introduced in 1987 as Freightliner's entry into the traditional long-nose conventional market. Before this, Freightliner was primarily known for their cab-over models. The FLC120 changed that reputation completely. What made the FLC120 reliable was its engineering philosophy: keep it simple, build it strong, and use proven components. The truck featured a ladder-style frame constructed from high-strength steel with reinforced crossmembers. This frame could handle abuse that would twist lesser trucks into pretzels. The front axle was a robust I-beam design that provided durability and ease of maintenance. Under the hood, the FLC120 could be spec'd with several reliable power plants, but the Cummins NTC 350 Big Cam was the sweet spot. This mechanical engine produced around 350 horsepower and was renowned for its longevity. No electronics to fail, no sensors to malfunction, just cast iron and steel doing what they did best. Many big cams eclipsed 1,000,000 miles with nothing more than routine maintenance. The transmission options were equally bulletproof. Most FLC120s came with either a Fuller RT or RTO series transmission. These manual transmissions were legendary for their durability and ease of repair. Clutches lasted 300,000 miles when properly maintained, and the transmissions themselves would run 1,000,000 miles or more. The FLC120's cab was built on a rubber-mounted subframe that reduced vibration and extended component life. The electrical system was simple and straightforward, using relays and fuses instead of complicated modules. When something went wrong, any competent mechanic could diagnose and fix it with basic tools. Freightliner built the FLC120 to compete with established players like Peterbilt and Kenworth, and they succeeded by focusing on reliability and value. Fleet managers loved them because uptime was exceptional and maintenance costs were reasonable. Owner-operators appreciated that they could fix many issues themselves without requiring dealer-level diagnostics. Number 9. Mack R-Model. At number 9 is a truck that defined American trucking toughness, the Mack R-Model. While the R-Model's production run started in the mid-1960s, it hit its stride in the 1980s as one of the most dependable trucks on American roads. The R-Model, with its distinctive squared-off hood and bulldog ornament, was built to survive whatever you threw at it. The R-Model's reliability started with its frame. Mack used heavy-duty steel rails with generous section modulus, meaning the frame resisted bending and twisting under severe loads. The front suspension featured Mack's own design with tapered leaf springs and a robust I-beam axle. This suspension was overbuilt by most standards, but that's exactly why R-Models lasted so long in severe service. Powering most 1980s R-Models was the Mack E6 engine, an inline-six diesel that became legendary for its durability. The E6, available in various displacements up to 672 cubic inches, featured a simple mechanical design with no electronic controls. The engine block was massively overbuilt, with cylinder walls thick enough to survive multiple rebuilds. Many E6 engines went well past 1,000,000 miles, and properly maintained examples reaching 2 million weren't uncommon. The Mack Maxitorque transmission paired perfectly with the E6 engine. This transmission was built in-house by Mack and featured heavy-duty gears and robust synchronizers. Shift quality was excellent, and durability was exceptional. The direct drive design minimized parasitic losses and complexity. What really set the R-Model apart was its vocational durability. While many trucks on this list excelled in highway service, the R-Model was equally at home as a dump truck, mixer, or heavy hauler. The truck's robust construction meant it could handle the shock loads and abusive construction work while still delivering reliable highway performance. The R-Model's cab was simple and functional. No frills, no unnecessary complexity, just controls that worked and instruments that actually helped you monitor the truck's condition. The wiring was straightforward, the air system was logical, and everything was designed for serviceability. Mack built the R-Model with a philosophy that reliable meant rebuildable. When components wore out, they could be rebuilt to like-new condition. Many R-Models received complete drivetrain rebuilds and went back to work for another million miles. Number 8. International Harvester 9300-93070. Number 8 takes us to International Harvester's final great conventional, the 9300 series, later redesignated as the 9370. International was in financial trouble during the early 1980s, but that didn't stop their engineers from building one of the most reliable conventionals of the era. The 9300-9370 represented decades of International's truck-building experience distilled into a straightforward, dependable package. The 9300's frame was constructed using International's proven ladder design with substantial crossmembers. The front axle was a forged I-beam with robust kingpin assemblies. International understood that vocational trucks needed to withstand abuse, and they built the 9300 accordingly. The rear suspension featured walking beam or multi-leaf setups that provided excellent durability and ride quality. Engine options included Cummins, Detroit diesel, and International's own engines. The Cummins NTC and Detroit diesel 8V92 were popular choices, both offering proven reliability. But the real sleeper was International's own DT466 engine in smaller configurations. This inline-six diesel was virtually indestructible and powered thousands of International trucks through million-mile careers. The 9300 featured a well-designed air system with large-capacity tanks and reliable valves. Air leaks, the bane of aging trucks, were minimized through quality components and logical routing. The brake system was straightforward and used proven components that could be serviced by any mechanic. What made the 9300-903070 particularly reliable was International's focus on operator-serviceable designs. The hood tilted forward easily, providing excellent access to the engine and front components. The air filter was large and easily accessed. Fuel filters, oil filters, and other routine maintenance points were positioned for easy servicing. The cab, while not the most modern, was robustly built and featured simple, reliable controls. The HVAC system was effective and used mechanical controls that didn't fail. The wiring harness was logically routed and used quality connectors. The gauges were large, easy to read, and actually worked reliably. Fleet managers appreciated the 9300's reasonable acquisition cost and excellent uptime. The trucks didn't have fancy features, but what they had worked consistently. Parts were widely available and reasonably priced. Mechanics familiar with International trucks could work on them efficiently. The 9300-9370 proved that International could still build a competitive, reliable truck even as the company struggled financially. It's unfortunate that International's medium-duty business ultimately didn't survive because the 9300 showed they still had excellent engineering capabilities. Number 7. Kenworth W900A. At number 7 is arguably the most iconic truck design ever created, the Kenworth W900A. While the W900A's production ended in 1982, this truck's reputation for reliability was cemented during the late 1970s and early 1980s. The W900A represented Kenworth's traditional approach: build a premium truck using quality components and let the customer choose the spec that fits their operation. The W900A featured Kenworth's heavy-duty frame with tapered rails that provided strength where needed while minimizing weight. The frame's design allowed flexibility without failure, important for handling the twisting forces encountered in real-world operation. Kenworth's front axle design was robust and featured quality kingpin assemblies that lasted hundreds of thousands of miles. What made the W900A exceptionally reliable was the quality of components Kenworth installed. Premium air brake components, heavy-duty wiring with proper strain reliefs, and well-designed air plumbing meant the support systems stayed functional for years. Kenworth's build quality was simply superior to most competitors. Engine choices in the W900A included the Cummins NTC Big Cam and the Caterpillar 3406. Both engines were mechanical diesels known for exceptional longevity. The Big Cam was nearly indestructible, and the 3406 earned a reputation as one of the best truck engines ever built. Owner-operators routinely pushed these engines past 1,000,000 miles with basic maintenance. Transmission options typically included Fuller RT and RTO series units. These transmissions matched perfectly with the high-torque engines, providing smooth shifts and long service life. The driveline components, including the drive shafts and carrier bearings, were heavy-duty units that could handle the power output. The W900A's cab was built using aluminum, which didn't rust but required proper care to avoid stress cracks. Kenworth assembled the cab with attention to detail, using quality fasteners and proper sealants. The result was a cab that held up well over hundreds of thousands of miles. What really set the W900A apart was its owner loyalty. Drivers who ran W900As tended to stay with Kenworth because the trucks simply worked. The reliability was backed by excellent dealer support and parts availability. When something did break, it could be fixed quickly and stayed fixed. The W900A became the truck by which all others were measured. Its combination of classic styling, proven reliability, and driver appeal made it legendary. Many W900As are still working today, more than 40 years after they were built. Number 6. Peterbilt 359. At number 6 is Peterbilt's legendary 359, a truck that defined what a premium conventional should be. Like the Mack R-Model, the 359's production run spanned multiple decades, but it reached its peak during the 1980s. The 359 was the truck drivers dreamed of owning and fleets bought when they wanted reliability without compromise. The 359 started with Peterbilt's robust frame design, featuring heat-treated steel rails with substantial section modulus. The frame was engineered to handle severe service while maintaining rigidity. Peterbilt's quality control during frame construction was exceptional, with precise drilling and proper fit-up of crossmembers. Under the hood, the 359 could be equipped with virtually any engine the customer wanted, but the most popular choices were the Cummins Big Cam and Caterpillar 3406. Both engines delivered exceptional reliability when properly maintained. The 359's engine installation was masterful, with proper clearances, quality motor mounts, and logical routing of lines and wiring. The 359's air system was engineered for reliability. Large-capacity air tanks, quality valves, and proper line routing minimized leak points and ensured consistent brake performance. Peterbilt used premium air brake components throughout, from the foot valve to the chamber diaphragms. This attention to detail paid dividends in reduced maintenance costs. Electrical systems in the 359 were straightforward and used quality components. Proper wire gauge selection, quality connectors with proper strain relief, and logical routing meant electrical problems were rare. The lighting system was robust, and bulbs lasted considerably longer than in lesser trucks due to better vibration isolation. 359's cab was assembled with meticulous attention to detail. Panel fit was excellent, doors closed with a solid thunk, and the overall build quality was apparent in every detail. The cab interior featured quality materials and thoughtful ergonomics. Controls fell naturally to hand, gauges were easily visible, and the overall design reflected decades of refinement. Peterbilt's reputation for reliability came from their build process. Each truck was essentially hand-built by craftsmen who took pride in their work. Quality control was rigorous, and trucks weren't shipped until they met Peterbilt standards. This attention to detail resulted in trucks that simply worked, day after day, year after year. The 359 commanded a premium price, but owner-operators and quality-conscious fleets knew they were getting value. Lower maintenance costs, better resale value, and superior uptime justified the initial investment. A well-maintained 359 could easily reach 1,000,000 miles and still have significant value. Number 5. Freightliner FLT. At number 5, we have a cabover that proved flat-nosed trucks could be reliable, the Freightliner FLT. Before deregulation in 1980, length laws favored cabover trucks, and the FLT became one of the most popular cabovers in America. What made the FLT remarkable was that Freightliner engineered reliability into a body style that was traditionally problematic. The FLT's frame was designed specifically for cabover applications, with reinforcement in critical stress areas. The cab mounting system used heavy-duty pivots and a robust tilt mechanism that could handle thousands of cycles without wearing out. Access to the engine was excellent thanks to the well-designed tilt system. Freightliner offered the FLT with proven power plants, primarily the Cummins NTC series and Detroit Diesel 60 series. The installation was carefully engineered to minimize vibration transfer and provide adequate cooling. The FLT's cooling system was sized generously, preventing overheating issues that plagued some cabovers. The air system in the FLT was exceptionally well designed. Freightliner understood that complex air routing in a cabover could create leak points, so they engineered the system for simplicity and serviceability. Air tanks were positioned for easy draining, and components were accessible for maintenance. What made the FLT particularly reliable was Freightliner's focus on corrosion prevention. Aluminum components were used strategically to eliminate rust problems, and steel components received proper coating. The wiring harness was protected from weather and mechanical damage through careful routing and proper covering. The FLT's cab, while compact compared to conventionals, was well built and featured quality materials. The cab structure was rigid, minimizing stress cracks and squeaks. The doors sealed properly, keeping out water and dust. The HVAC system, critical in a cab with limited insulation space, worked effectively and reliably. Fleet managers loved the FLT because it delivered excellent uptime at a reasonable operating cost. The truck's popularity in fleet service proved its reliability. Companies like J.B. Hunt, Schneider, and Werner ran thousands of FLTs, and they wouldn't have done so if the trucks weren't dependable. The FLT remained competitive even after length laws changed because its reliability was so well established. Many operators continued running FLTs through the 1990s, long after cabovers fell out of favor, simply because the trucks kept working. Number 4. Mack Superliner. At number 4 is Mack's most aggressive conventional, the Superliner. The Superliner was Mack's answer to Kenworth and Peterbilt, a premium conventional that could compete in the heavy-haul and long-haul markets. What made the Superliner exceptional was that Mack brought their vocational truck durability philosophy to a highway tractor. The Superliner's frame was pure Mack, overbuilt and designed to last. The rails were substantial, with reinforcement at stress points. The front suspension featured Mack's robust design with heavy-duty springs and shock absorbers. This truck was built to handle Australian outback conditions and American heavy-haul work equally well. Under the massive hood sat Mack's legendary E9 V8 engine, the big brother to the E6. The E9 displaced 864 cubic inches and produced up to 500 horsepower. This engine was an absolute beast, capable of pulling heavy loads up steep grades without complaint. The V8 configuration provided smooth power delivery and excellent torque characteristics. The E9's reliability was legendary. The engine block was massively constructed, with cylinder walls thick enough for multiple rebuilds. The bottom end featured forged components that could handle tremendous stress. The mechanical fuel system was simple and reliable, with no electronics to fail. Many E9 engines exceeded 1,000,000 miles between overhauls. The Superliner featured Mack's Maxitorque transmission, scaled up to handle the E9's torque output. This transmission was built like a bank vault, with gears and shafts sized for durability rather than weight savings. Shift quality was excellent, and the transmission could be rebuilt to like-new condition when necessary. What made the Superliner particularly reliable was its intended use. This truck was designed for harsh conditions and heavy loads. When used in highway service, it was essentially overbuilt, which translated to exceptional longevity. The cooling system was sized for severe service, ensuring the engine stayed cool even when working hard. The Superliner's cab was spacious and featured Mack's no-nonsense approach to controls and instrumentation. Everything was where it should be, gauges were large and easy to read, and the overall design prioritized function over fashion. The cab structure was rigid and well-sealed, providing a good working environment. The Superliner found its greatest success in Australia, where harsh conditions and long distances demanded reliability. Australian operators pushed these trucks to limits that would destroy lesser machines, and the Superliners kept working. That international reputation for toughness spoke volumes about the truck's reliability. Number 3. Kenworth K100. The bronze medal goes to one of the best cabovers ever built, the Kenworth K100. The K100 was Kenworth's cabover offering, and during the 1980s, it was the gold standard for flat-nose reliability. Kenworth brought the same engineering philosophy to the K100 that made their conventionals legendary: quality components, excellent build quality, and attention to detail. The K100's frame was designed specifically for cabover applications, with reinforcement in areas that experienced high stress during cab tilting and operation. The tilt mechanism was robust and featured quality pivot points and cylinders. Unlike some cabovers where the tilt system became problematic, the K100 system remained functional for hundreds of thousands of miles. Engine options in the K100 included the usual suspects: Cummins, Big Cam, and Caterpillar 3406. Kenworth's engine installation was exemplary, with proper isolation from the cab and adequate cooling. The K100's radiator was sized generously, preventing overheating issues common in other cabovers where packaging constraints compromised cooling capacity. The air system in the K100 was engineered with the same care as Kenworth conventionals. Quality components, logical routing, and proper support prevented the air leaks that plagued lesser cabovers. The brake system delivered consistent, reliable performance over the truck's service life. What set the K100 apart was its cab quality. The K100's cab was built using aluminum over a steel structure, providing durability without excessive weight. Panel fit was excellent, and the cab sealed properly to keep out weather and road spray. The cab's structural rigidity prevented the squeaks and rattles common in other cabovers. The interior of the K100 featured Kenworth's attention to driver comfort and ergonomics. The controls were logically arranged, the seats were comfortable and durable, and the overall environment was conducive to long hours behind the wheel. The HVAC system worked effectively, and the cab insulation kept noise levels reasonable. Kenworth dealers provided excellent support for K100 owners, with parts availability and technical expertise that kept trucks running. This dealer network was a significant factor in the K100's reliability reputation. When issues arose, they could be resolved quickly. The K100 remained popular even after length laws changed because drivers and operators trusted it. Many companies continued speccing K100s through the late 1980s, not because they needed a cabover, but because the K100's reliability was proven and valued. Number 2. International Transtar 2 Eagle. At number 2 is International's most successful highway tractor, the Transtar 2, later renamed the Eagle. The Transtar 2 represented International's commitment to the highway market during the 1980s. This conventional tractor combined International's vocational truck durability with features highway operators wanted. The result was a truck that delivered exceptional reliability at a competitive price. The Transtar 2's frame was typical International, overbuilt and designed to last. The rails featured substantial section modulus, and crossmembers were properly sized and spaced. The front suspension used International's proven I-beam axle with robust springs. This foundation provided durability that many competitors couldn't match. Engine options included International's own DT466 in smaller configurations, plus Cummins and Caterpillar engines for higher horsepower applications. The Cummins NTC 350 Big Cam was particularly popular and delivered exceptional reliability. The engine installation featured proper motor mounts and vibration isolation. What made the Transtar 2 particularly reliable was International's focus on serviceability. The hood tilted easily, providing excellent access to the engine and components. Air filters were positioned for easy servicing, as were fuel and oil filters. International understood that making maintenance easy meant maintenance was more likely to be performed properly and on schedule. The air system featured large capacity tanks and quality components. International's brake system was straightforward and used proven valves and actuators. The Transtar 2's air plumbing was logically routed and properly supported, minimizing leak points and ensuring consistent brake performance. The cab was assembled with attention to detail and featured quality materials. The doors fit properly and sealed effectively. The wiring harness was robust and properly routed. Interior controls were simple and reliable, using mechanical linkages rather than complicated electronics. The Transtar 2 earned its reputation through fleet service. Major carriers ran thousands of these trucks and found they delivered excellent uptime. Maintenance costs were reasonable, and when repairs were needed, they could be performed quickly with widely available parts. When International renamed the Transtar 2 to Eagle in the mid-1980s, they made further improvements to an already reliable platform. The Eagle featured updated styling and some refinements, but the core reliability remained. These trucks commonly exceeded 500,000 miles with minimal issues, and many reached 1,000,000 miles. The Transtar 2 Eagle proved that International could build a reliable highway tractor that competed effectively with established brands. Its success in fleet operations demonstrated that reliability, not flashy features, was what really mattered to professional trucking operations. Number 1. Kenworth W900B, and at number 1, the most reliable 18-wheeler of the 1980s, the Kenworth W900B. The W900B succeeded the legendary W900A in 1982 and took reliability to new heights. This truck represented the culmination of Kenworth's decades of experience building premium conventionals. Everything that made Kenworth trucks reliable was refined and improved in the W900B. The W900B's frame was a masterpiece of engineering. Heat-treated steel rails with precise taper, substantial crossmembers properly located, and expert fabrication resulted in a frame that was both strong and flexible. This frame could handle the rigors of heavy-haul work while maintaining the integrity needed for 1,000,000 miles of service. Under the hood, the W900B could be spec'd with the best engines available: Cummins Big Cam 3 and Caterpillar 3406B. Both engines represented the pinnacle of mechanical diesel reliability. The Big Cam 3 featured improvements over earlier versions, including better fuel economy and longer service intervals. The 3406B was arguably the most reliable truck engine ever built. Kenworth's engine installation in the W900B was exemplary. Proper motor mounts isolated vibration, quality cooling systems maintained optimal temperatures, and careful routing of fuel and oil lines prevented leaks and failures. The engine compartment layout made servicing straightforward, encouraging proper maintenance. The air system in the W900B was engineered for zero-compromise reliability. Premium valves, large capacity tanks, proper line sizing, and logical routing resulted in a system that simply worked. Air leaks, the curse of aging trucks, were minimal thanks to quality components and proper installation. The brake system delivered consistent, reliable stopping power throughout the truck's service life. Electrical systems in the W900B used heavy-gauge wire with proper insulation, quality connectors with strain relief, and logical routing that protected wires from damage. The battery box was designed to prevent corrosion, and cables were properly sized. This attention to detail meant electrical problems were rare. The W900B's cab was built to last. Aluminum construction prevented rust, and the assembly process ensured proper fit and finish. Panel gaps were tight, doors closed solidly, and the overall structure was rigid. The cab mounted on a rubber-isolated subframe that absorbed road shock and extended component life. Interior quality was exceptional. The seats were comfortable and durable. Controls fell naturally to hand, and gauges provided clear information about the truck's condition. The HVAC system was effective and reliable. The overall driving environment reduced fatigue and helped drivers stay alert during long hauls. What truly made the W900B the most reliable truck of the 1980s was the combination of quality construction, proven components, and excellent dealer support. Kenworth dealers provided expert service and maintained extensive parts inventories. When issues arose, they were resolved quickly and correctly. Owner-operators who bought W900Bs often ran them for decades. It wasn't uncommon to see W900Bs with 2, 3, even 4 million miles. These trucks weren't preserved as showpieces. They were working trucks that earned their keep day after day, year after year, decade after decade. The W900B set the standard by which all other trucks were measured. Its reliability wasn't just about low failure rates, it was about delivering consistent performance over a lifetime of service. The W900B proved that premium quality and true reliability were worth the investment. From cabovers to long-nose conventionals, from vocational workhorses to highway haulers, these 10 trucks defined what reliability meant in the 1980s. They proved that dependability wasn't about fancy features or cutting-edge technology. It was about quality engineering, proven components, and attention to detail. The 1980s were challenging years for trucking. Deregulation changed the industry fundamentally, forcing carriers to operate more efficiently. Fuel prices fluctuated wildly, competition intensified. In this environment, unreliable equipment could destroy a business. The trucks on this list kept operators profitable when margins were thin. What's remarkable is how many of these trucks are still working today. Drive through any truck stop and you'll see W900Bs, Peterbilt 359s, and Mack R-Models still earning their keep. That longevity isn't accidental. It's the result of building trucks that were meant to last, not designed for obsolescence. These trucks also represent a different era of trucking, when mechanical simplicity meant reliability. No computer modules to fail, no sensors to malfunction, just mechanical components doing what they were designed to do. Many drivers and mechanics argue that trucks from this era were more reliable precisely because they were less complex. The lessons from these reliable 1980s trucks still apply today. Quality components cost more initially, but save money long-term. Serviceability matters because maintenance will be needed. Simple systems are often more reliable than complex ones, and building something to last rather than building to a price point creates value that extends for decades. What's your experience with these trucks? Did you drive any of them? Do you have reliability stories to share? Drop your comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through trucking history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content celebrating the machines that move America. Until next time, keep the shiny side up and the greasy side down.